this overwhelmed him. It overwhelmed him. You think of yourself, if I put you in there, it wouldn't overwhelm you?
That's what Cal warns all those big superstars coming in, that they're going to have to face this guy
right.
at every press conference. It'll overwhelm them. Welcome to the Red and Blue Review. Gupper and the gang. You know, we're all about creating winners and champions and manufacturing, if you'll allow me to have the stretch. We manufacture national champions, and we've come to the place where Primax True Home Value manufactures doors and windows. We'll talk about that as we keep going on the show here, brought to you by Primax True Home Value. Reminding you right now, go to thv.com. You'll be able to register to win $1,000 gift certificate right now at the end of the show. All right, Daryl, give me your word of the week.
Alpha males. I get two words.
Well, thank you.
I'm in the presence of alpha males every single week. That was what was missing from Kentucky's basketball team last year. Not anymore.
And Howie, what's your word of the week?
It's ACC. It's ACC meeting time. They're all down there hatching out their future and plotting the future. And they're talking about the network. They're talking about possibly, well, we'll get to that. They got a lot of big plans.
Your plans could include a future that has $25,000 in it. It's the Primax True Home Value Sweepstakes. Let me tell you how it works. Go to thv.com. And if you're the winner, you'll pick up $10,000 in cash to spend any way you like, and $15,000 in home improvements. That could include the doors and windows manufactured right here. To register, you must go right now to thv.com while we're going to the lightning round animation. This version of the Red and Blue Review brought to you by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety, reminding you that this time of the year you are sharing the road with motorcycles. Well, the big men on campus at the University of Kentucky are those new recruits coming in, hard to say, that includes 2 alpha males.
The alpha males that we didn't have a year ago, I think we have, but those guys got to do that. They can lead, but they got to lead us in the way they need to be led. Michael Gilchrist, how did he lead us? Breakfast Club. What did he do in practice? Was unbelievable in his work ethic. What did that mean? 2 years ago, we did not have one bad practice. Not one. Last year, we had about 5 good practices that I would say, in my mind, over the years, would be the kind of practices I felt comfortable with.
Now, when you think about it, of course, a lot of people have done the autopsy of last year's disaster that ended with a loss in the NIT. And one of them was leadership. How many times did we hear Cal say, as soon as this becomes their team, not my team, we're going to take all?
Yeah.
Never happened. It never became their team. There was no alpha male on there to grab this and take charge of this situation and run with it, and it showed. It was a bad season.
And I really think the leadership issue started at the very top. Cal just did not do a good job with this team. He admitted in the press conference that he allowed some stuff to go and that shouldn't have, didn't recruit enough players.
Didn't recruit enough.
Man, that all falls back on Cal.
It does. He said it's a lesson he's learned the hard way, is that he tried to protect some players, give them chances, only had 8 scholarships, never again, wasn't enough. How are you going to practice with 8?
Yeah.
How are you going to get better, as Willie Cauley-Stein said, going up against Sam Malone and Brian Long every day in practice? You're not going to get any better. This year is a different story.
Well, you know the old saying in college basketball, if you practice with 8, you lose to Robert Morris in the first round of the NIT. Well, the big man on campus for the University of Louisville is and will be Teddy Bridgewater. A former big man on campus, Chris Redmond, who had a little run in the pros himself, says Teddy is exactly what pro scouts are looking for.
You know what? He's got all the tangibles it takes to be a top pick. I think, you know, we'll be lucky if we could keep him longer than next year, but I really think he's probably ready to go to the NFL, and you know, not only is he very accurate and he's got, you know, he can throw the ball really well, but he's tough and, you know, and smart, and, you know, it's come from a quarterback's perspective. You know, I can't find any flaws. I think he does everything right, and he's a humble guy too, and that's the most important thing. Is I think the other teammates really like playing with him, so I'm happy for him, and I'm pulling for him too.
Teddy Bridgewater is definitely great under major pressure. That's the monogram that he likes to put on his Twitter and all that other. He doesn't have Twitter, but all the other places online. Great under major pressure. It spells out Gump. And so if you ever hear Teddy Bridgewater talking about Gump, that's what he's talking about. He wants to be best when the big lights are on.
Well, Archie Goodwin got busted for leaving after his first year at Kentucky to go to the NBA, but John Calipari says this may be a good choice for Archie, and he has 18 reasons why.
You think about it. Basically, if you draft him, he's 18 years old. You're getting a high school player. The old days when the high school player could come out. That's what you're getting. So you may have players in that draft that are 4 years older than him. Think about what I'm saying. 3 years older than him. The whole point with him is, where do you project him? You know what? At his age, they're going to have a chance to mold him as a wing guard, a point guard, whatever they want him to be. If you have a good attitude and you truly have a huge work capacity, like a Brandon Knight or like Archie, you're going to be fine. Now, there may be bumps in the road and all that. You will be fine. So he'll be fine. Someone's going to take him in a good position, and he'll be fine.
Now, I wanted to use this clip today because it's been such a point of really strong opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he made the biggest mistake of his life. What's he doing? There's no way he's going to get drafted. He'll end up in the D-League, et cetera, et cetera. Versus the other side was, no, if he stayed, he might have been the 6th or 7th player drafted off his own team next year.
Yeah.
And that was the debate back and forth. So I want to get Cal's take on that to see what he thinks. And he's right. I mean, Archie will not play in the NBA next year, maybe like the 13th man on the bench or whatever. Mm-hmm. But he's going to take some time to develop. And luckily for him, he's so young, he can afford a few years to grow.
You and I talked to Mike Pratt about this week, and I was surprised that Mike was so bullish on Archie being a pro player.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah.
That's the key word here. It was eventually. But he has the athletic ability, the skill set. I mean, you can't teach the quickness that he has, the fearlessness that he has. You've got to beat out of him the stupidity of driving in the lane, turning sideways and throwing it over your head. That won't fly in college. It definitely won't fly on the next level.
Well, who's gotten busted this week in college sports has to be the Rutgers athletic department, and this busting has been going on for some few weeks. They fired their basketball coach of the men's program because he was kicking and throwing basketballs at players. Because the president and the AD didn't fire the coach initially, they got canned. And now the new coach they've hired, they just found out he never graduated from Rutgers when they thought he had, and now stepping into that whole big mess is former U of L assistant athletic director Julie Herman.
Dave, I think it's really important, and I've already had an opportunity to meet with, I think, all of the coaches, and I think there's no one on that staff, no one in our head coaching staff that doesn't believe that we need to be an open book, and that we will no longer have any practice anywhere, anytime that anybody couldn't walk into and be pleased about what's going on in that environment. It is a new day, it is already fixed, and there's no one that doesn't agree about how we treat young people with respect and dignity and build trust.
How about that? For literally one of her first statements as athletic director was, "We will not abuse players any longer." I mean, that's what kind of situation you're stepping into, is that they've got an abuse case up there.
Yeah.
They've got former players talking about how they've been harassed and all this kind of stuff, and they've got a coach that may or may not actually be there next year, and so she's stepping into a mess. There's no question about it. She's one of the strongest leaders I've seen on U of L scene. Tom Jurich's right-hand man all the way through this last 13 years, and so I think she's got the talent to do this. The question is, there's a special brand of Northeast trap setting in political, and they take political to the nth degree.
Yeah.
I just hope that she doesn't walk into just a bigger mess than she even realizes.
That's one incredibly tough job. There is a lot of messes to clean up there.
My goodness, and she can do it. Now the question is, will they let her do it?
Yeah.
And all those harassed athletes just found out they're being investigated by the IRS too.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, they're on that list.
Yeah. Well, the Red and Blue Review is coming to you from the place where Primax True Home Values makes its doors and windows.
Hi, I'm George Jenkins, the president of Primax True Home Value. We're celebrating our 32nd year, and some lucky homeowner is going to win $15,000 in home improvements and $10,000 in cash. But to win, you have to go to thv.com. Go there today. Back to you, Gary.
Hey, thank you, George. And right now, if you go to thv.com, you'll be able to get this $1,000 gift certificate, or at least register for it. And you can do it by phoning this 1-800 number, 1-800-476-1966, 800, or thv.com. Well, what's nuts is all this talk about Kentucky with this new brand of recruits coming in, possibly going undefeated en route to the national championship. That would be 40-0.
We're chasing perfection. We're chasing greatness. We're chasing things that have never been done in the history of our game. Well, what I like about that, people say, pressure. Man, pressure brings out the best. Pressure, you're going to be fired if you don't get this done. You're not going to make it if you don't get this. It wakes you up earlier in the morning. Don't mind a little pressure. I've had it my whole career. I've had the gun to my head for 20-some years. And you know what? I'm at my best when the gun is to my head versus, okay, I'm good, I can kick back. I'm not as good. And you know what? Players are the same. Now, I'm not sitting there saying if we lose a game, it's not a successful season. No, but you're chasing greatness. What's wrong with that? Well, we want to talk moment to moment, and we're not putting that on the kids. Well, we are.
Right about now, we are the envy of every reporter in the country. We have a coach who stands up there and will not say, we're going to take it one game at a time. We're only worried about our next opponent, however lowly directional school they may be. That's all we're worried about. He says 40-0, bring it on. I love the attitude. Why not approach it that way?
Howie, give me your thoughts about 40-0, would you please?
I do like the attitude. I like Cal's best when he has that kind of swagger. I think that's fun. It's fun for the game. It's not going to happen.
No.
They're not going to go 40-0. They're going to lose early in the season. They may lose 2 or 3 times early in the season, but it's fun to talk about during the summer. I don't. If I'm Cal, though, I retire that phraseology he just used about being best with a gun to his head.
Yeah.
Let's retire that kind of talk.
Well, I do think it's possible, and here's why I think it's possible, and not just for Kentucky, but when you consider the team that won the national championship 2 years ago at Kentucky, they lost 2 games, one on a last-second miracle shot by Indiana, and the other to a Vanderbilt team that played its best game of the year in the finals of the SEC tournament. That is not a huge stretch to think that a team, Kentucky or Louisville, anybody, can really run the gauntlet again because they got really close that year.
I think if Kentucky's going to run the gauntlet, if anybody's going to stop them from going 40-0, well, that, of course, that's an obvious one. But they better get them early. Because this team, as good as they are, you're throwing all this together. And then on November 12th, you get to play Michigan State. I mean, all this talk of 40-0 may end that night in Chicago.
Sure could.
That early. That's an awfully huge task that early in the season with guys who are still getting to know each other.
And I don't know if anybody wants to pack that undefeated stretch into the NCAA tournament. That's a pretty heavy burden to pack.
We'll debate that in late February.
I like that. Well, the ACC has just announced they're going to form its own network in partnership with ESPN, and they're trying to get the ACC tournament moved to Madison Square Garden. That would be huge, Howie.
That would be huge. Now, if they don't get Madison Square Garden, they may go to the Barclays Center. But Madison Square Garden, of course, the home of the Big East tournament for years and years and years. It was actually a recruiting tool. Guys would go into kids' homes and say, you're going to play in Madison Square Garden once or twice a year. Maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times. And that kind of, the world's most famous arena was a recruiting tool. And when you combine the schools in the ACC, probably the best basketball conference of all time, with the ability to play in Madison Square Garden on that kind of big stage, that'd be awesome.
No chance for the Yum Center hosting this. I mean, not been looking at on-campus arenas at all.
I'm sure that they would bid. I'm sure Atlanta wants it. I'm sure Greensboro wants it. But I think the ACC is looking bigger than that.
All right. We come back on the Red and Blue Review. What if it takes the Kentucky basketball players 3 years to become a one and done? Daryl and Cal will talk about that after Daryl tells us about the Cats Balls.
I do appreciate it very much. If you're a subscriber, you know you got your Spring Fever issue. But did you recognize any of these covers? These are our Cats Paws Express editions, digital only, straight to your email. We've had 3 of those since our last print issue. If you're a subscriber, please go to magazine.catspaws.com to take advantage of all of our UK coverage.
Kenny Walker here for Tim French Superstore. If it's your game plan to get the best deal on a great car, truck, or SUV, then Tim French Superstore is your place to go.
At Tim French Superstores, we slam dunk the competition.
You'd have to be crazy not to take advantage of these deals.
It's like having the home court advantage. Think you can get a better deal somewhere else?
Well, we'll catch you on the rebound. Tim French Superstore in Radcliffe.
Today we're talking about the Polotate. Food Network voted it the top pizza in Kentucky, and it is an International Pizza Award winner. Come down and try the Polotate at Boombox Pizza, Westport Village.
Welcome to the new Bachman Subaru. We have expanded our Subaru service, sales, and parts departments to serve you, our customers. Bachman Subaru has our best ever selection of all the new Subaru models, or get a certified pre-owned Subaru from our great inventory. If you already own a Subaru, we now have an expanded service area for those few times you do need service. Visit us today at Bachman Subaru. Bachman makes the difference.
Bachman makes a difference. Yeah! That just happened! Yes, it did. No! Yes, 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 yes! We did it! Yes, we did! Yeah, we did it! See you, bud. Later.
Honey, who was that?
Who, that guy? I don't know.
Get caught up in the excitement. Buffalo Wild Wings. More wings, more beer, more sports.
Hey, who's this?
just picked her up. We should be there in 20 minutes.
Who is it? Oh, it's him. Where is he?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
Today we're talking about the Polotate. Food Network voted it the top pizza in Kentucky, and it is an International Pizza Award winner. Come down and try the Polotate at Boomba's Pizza, Westport Village.
Hi, I'm George Jenkins, the president of Primex True Home Value, the home of the triple pane composite replacement windows. We have so many different styles and colors to choose from today. If you're thinking about replacing your windows, go to thv.com. And while you're there, be sure to enter our sweepstakes. Some lucky homeowner is going to win $10,000 in cash and $15,000 in home improvements. Back to you, Gary.
Thank you, George. And if you go there right now at the end of the show, somebody is going to win this $1,000 gift certificate by going to thv.com or calling 1-800-476-1966. This portion of the Red and Blue Review is brought to you by Closets by Design. Imagine your garage. Yeah, that big junk place that you keep your car. That's the warning sound that goes off when your garage is a mess. So you have to get a hold of Jeff Speedy and the guys at Closets by Design, 502-425-4728 or 800-293-3744. Let's jump into our Game Time storylines. Well, Cal has been hearing the criticism that his one and dones don't show up for class enough. Bob Knight, thanks very much. But Cal can answer that excuse or criticism with a very impressive grade point average.
We're not working on a 25-year-old model here. It's different. It makes people mad when you talk about it. Oh, because you're not about academics. You don't care. You're a basketball factory. We had a 3.4 GPA. We've had 10 players graduate. We've had 2 players come back. We have 2 more players coming back to finish up. 25 out of 25 players have either gotten their degrees or going on to be pro basketball players. 25. That's the success rate. Drives you crazy, can't be. It's a conspiracy. Starts right up with the governor. But that's the numbers. That's a fact.
Throwing out that 25-year plan, his plan is you either graduate college or you're in the NBA. Yeah. And he said they're batting 1,000 in that regard. I'd argue with it if you want, do whatever you want to. All I know is we brought Nerlens Noel in late to autograph stuff for our autograph basketballs 8x10s. And we were setting up the date, and I said, okay, how about 1 o'clock? No, he has a final at 1. He'll be there at 3. This guy's going to the NBA. He has been injured forever. He still took finals.
Well, Rick Pitino said that he told his players to celebrate this year's national championship for exactly 1 week. He said the problem with last year's Final Four team is Shane Bohannon celebrated for about 3 months.
Well, I think it hurt Shane last year going to a Final Four. I think Shane got not full of himself. I think when I tell these guys to go celebrate, I mean for a week. I think Shane just took 3 months and didn't work on his game. But I think these guys are very mature. And they know the pitfalls. Russ and I talked about it this morning. The pitfalls of celebrating and understanding that you got a lot of work to do. And Luke and I've been talking to all the guys. I said right after the Kentucky Derby, it's back. You know, you got to get serious about everything and start getting ready for next year. We're going to play the likes of North Carolina next year. We got Kentucky at Kentucky. We've got a lot of difficult non-conference games coming up.
It is going to be a tough schedule for Louisville, even without some of the teams that were previously in the Big East. And I think for Louisville, it's about focus and who's going to kind of lead this team. Is it going to be Luke Hancock or is it going to be Shane Bohannon? Those are two vastly different things. And so, and not saying, I am saying, but Shane's a little wild. You want to follow Luke Hancock, and hopefully everybody will, and follow Russ Smith. He's much more serious about his game than I've ever seen him. So that should be a good thing.
Kentucky's Alex Poythress was supposed to be a one and done. He wasn't, and Cal's response is, so what?
He is a conscientious kid. This overwhelmed him. It overwhelmed him. You think of yourself, if I put you in there, it wouldn't overwhelm you? There are kids that come here that take longer. I mean, I always say, it doesn't matter to me if you take 1, 2, 3, or 4 years. Does it really matter? I just want you to get it so you're ready to go on and have success. Some kids, Terrence Jones, it took 2 years. Darius took 4 years. Now you look at Darius, do you know what they say? Anthony Davis told me, Coach, you won't believe this. We play Darius Miller as a stopper on defense. Think about that. So, he's tougher now. He's more aggressive. I watched him in the gym in there. He makes every shot now. Well, he was now ready to go on to have success. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. Alex, it's taken a little more time. And if it takes another year, what's the problem? What if it takes him 3 or 4 years? What's the problem?
Good point here. It's interesting. The problem is Calipari's very first team had 5 players, first-round NBA draft pick, and that skewed the picture for everybody going forward.
Primex True Home Value not only makes doors and windows here, they make a vehicle you will see at the Kentucky-Louisville football game during tailgating. We'll show you that after Howie tells us about Cardinal Sports Report.
We've got all the tailgating reports. We've got the basketball, football, all kinds of recruiting reports as well. Check out video of the future Cardinals at cardinalsports.com.
It's Chevy Truck Month here at Bob Hook, and from regular cab work trucks to crew cab dualies, Bob Hook's got it.
These Chevy Silverados aren't happy. They want to be on the road working for you.
We're selling 2013s like it's year-end clearance time.
2013 Silverado Extended Cab 4x4s with All-Star Package. Add up Chevy rebates, Bob Hook savings, bonus cash, and All-Star savings.
That's $8,400 off select trucks. Great deals on Tahoe, Suburban, Traverse, and Equinox too.
So look the hook and let's do work.
That just happened. Yes, it did. Yes, 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 yes! Yes! We did it! Yes, we did! Oh, we did it! Okay, see you, bud. Later.
Honey, who was that?
Who, that guy? I don't know.
Get caught up in the excitement. Buffalo Wild Wings. More wings, more beer, more sports.
Hey, who's this?
Jam time, yeah! Kenny Walker here, the Tim Prince Superstore. If it's your game plan to get the best deal on a great car, truck, or SUV, then Tim Prince Superstore is your place to go.
At Tim Prince Superstores, we slam dunk the competition.
You'd have to be crazy not to take advantage of these deals.
It's like having the home court advantage. Think you can get a better deal somewhere else?
Well, we'll catch you on the rebound. Tim Prince Superstore in Radcliffe.
It's been over 90 years since my grandfather entered the Chevrolet business. Steve and I are proud of our son Ryan and our son-in-law Andrew, who now make the 4th generation. The tradition continues with our dedication to excellence and customer satisfaction. Thank you, Kentuckiana, for making us your #1 Chevrolet dealer. We would like to introduce you to the all-new Bachman Chevrolet.
Yeah, I just picked her up. We should be there in 20 minutes.
Who is it? Oh, it's him. Where is he?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
Welcome back to the Red and Blue Review. We're here at the factory where they make doors and windows, and this is the closest Howie's ever been to real work, so he had to get out of here.
Yeah.
Sure. George Jenkins is joining us now, the president of Primex True Home Value, and there's really not a door or window that you can't custom replace, is there, George?
There's not, and we really urge homeowners today, if you have a door that you've been concerned about size or shape that we couldn't replace, call us. Let us come out and take a look at it. But we have over 1,400 different styles and colors here. And these are all steel insulated doors made to look like wood. Therefore, you don't have all the maintenance problems with wood, the shrinking and swelling. And we also sell fiberglass doors here that are some beautiful textures on those doors that unless you touch them, you can't tell they're not wood.
Other than cosmetically, how would you know you need to replace a door?
Well, a lot of times the doors won't operate properly and have a tough time locking them, tough time opening. The other thing too is that if you stand back from your door and you look and you see any type of light around your door, you're losing that precious heating and air conditioning.
All right, now, not only do they make doors and windows here, but they're also making the newest vehicle in tailgating we'll see at the Kentucky-Louisville game. And tell me about this vehicle, George.
This is a 1978 truck, which has been in my partner's family for years, and we're converting it into a U of L tailgating truck. And you can see we're not very far yet.
Yeah.
And we'll probably have more money in there than we should, but we're going to have fun. And we're looking forward to that U of L football season.
That is going to be a fun time, and we'll be taking a look at the finished product here coming up in a few weeks as we get closer to football season. What we need you to do right now is go to thv.com to register for the $25,000 sweepstakes, and right now call 1-800-476-1966. You could win this $1,000 gift certificate from Primex True Home Value. See you next week on Red and Blue.
That okay?